Today we will start with History Chapter 1, How, When and Where. All of you please take your textbook, we need to underline the important points. Today's topics will be importance of dates and how we periodize. From class 6 onwards, I heard you saying, oh ma'am, history is so boring. We can't memorize dates. Yes, that's a problem with me also. We don't want to study history because there is so much to remember by heart. Yes, so history is all about dates. But we don't remember dates like that. We remember dates along with certain set of events. You all remember your birthdays, your parents' wedding anniversary, siblings' birthdays, close friends' birthdays. Some of you remember my birthday also, I think so. When I come to class, you say happy birthday. We will remember the dates, but for a particular reason. So that is what we are going to study, how important are dates. So history is about changes that occur over a period of time. Changes that occur over a period of time. So you can't say a single date like that. We can't come to a particular date to remember. Like in the history, you can't think like that. We can set of events have happened, then only you will come to a conclusion. Yes, then finding about how things were in the past and how they are in present. So we study about in the history about dates. Date means a set of events that occurred in a stretch of time, as well as how things were in the past and how things are in the present. So children, please take page number 1, how, when and where. First paragraph, you don't have to underline anything. Second paragraph, history is certainly about changes that occur over time. It is about finding out how things were in the past and how things have changed. So history is about things in the past as well as how things have been changed. So we study history about past as well as present history. Now about this we can give an example like drinking of tea, that when people started drinking of tea. You can't give a particular date like that, but you can see that at a certain time tea has been introduced in India and people started drinking tea over a period of time. We don't know the exact date. Then how roads and railways were developed in India, how roads have been built in India. Then what were the ways people used to get information before newspapers were printed. So all these doubts will come. When we, in the study of history, we will say all these things over a stretch of time, these things have happened in India. Like that, when we say about Britishers who came to India for ruling, you can't say a single date then Britishers came to India and started ruling. They didn't come like that. They came for a purpose of trading and then slowly started conquering our land. So next page, page number 2, first paragraph underline. We cannot fix one single date on which British rule was established or the national movement started or changes took place within the economy and society. We cannot give a single date like that. So in the history we are learning about set of events occurred in a stretch of time. All these things happened over a stretch of time. So here underline these points. People in India did not begin drinking tea one fine day. From there onwards you can start marking. They developed a taste for it over time. There can be no one clear date or a process such as this. We can't give a single day for all this. We can say that in a stretch of time, in a period of time, it has happened. Second paragraph, earlier there were two types of history, history in the past and history in the present. History in the past is mainly about battles and big events. So historians wrote about when a king was born, when was he given the throne, then when he got married, the year he had a child, the year he fought a particular war, the year he died. So all these things were written in the history of past. So underline this second paragraph, page number 2. Second paragraph underline, history was an account of battles and big events. The earlier history, you can mark it over there, the history of past. The history of past was an account of, just write over there, third sentence, Just note there, history in the past you have to write down. Was an account of battles and big events. It was about rulers and their policies. Underline. Historians wrote about when the king was born, when he got married, when he had a child, the year he fought a particular war, the year he died, and the year the next ruler succeeded to the throne. All these things are written in the history of past. Now, when you come to present history, that is 2 years ago, what all written in the history, that is about how people earned their livelihood, then what all things they produced and ate, how cities developed and markets came up, how kingdoms were formed and new ideas were spread. All this are written in the history of present. So, there are two types of history, one is about past and one is about the present. So, these two paragraphs you need to underline and just write down beside this you can write down history of past and history of present. Page number 2, second and third paragraph. Now, coming to which dates. So, which all dates we remember? We normally remember the dates which are important for us. We don't remember when Akbar was born or when Babur got the kingdom and all that, we don't remember. We normally remember what all things, our birthdays, parents' birthdays, their anniversaries, siblings' birthday, all these things we remember. Now, which dates are important in history? Dates are important because we focus on a set of events during those dates. So, dates are important for us because we focus on a set of events that occur during those dates. So, here please underline page number 2, which dates, that paragraph, first paragraph, which dates, take the heading, dates are important, it is given there vital, just start the bracket from there. Dates are important because we focus on a particular set of events as important. We need dates so that we can remember the set of events are important for us. So, we remember the dates also. If our focus on study changes, we begin to look at new issues, a new set of dates will come. So, why we remember these dates? Because these things happen on particular or a particular event occurred on that particular date. That is why we are remembering those dates. For example, it is given the British historians when they wrote about governor generals and their policies, activities, what all things they introduced in India, what are the achievements, all these things are written by the British historians. They want to introduce about the governor generals of theirs and their activities, their policies, their achievements, everything is written in the history book. So, which dates? Second paragraph, underline, in the histories written by British historians in India, which dates? Second paragraph, underline, in the histories written by British historians in India, the rule of each governor general was important. The rule of each governor general was important. You can give the example of first governor general Warren Hastings and ended with the last viceroy Lord Mountbatten. So, all these viceroys, their achievements, their policies, their activities are all written in the history. So, underline the same paragraph, all the dates in these history books were linked to these personalities, their activities, policies, achievements. Underline that particular topic. So, you have to mark the sentence like, the histories began with the rule of first Governor General Warren Hastings and end with Viceroy Lord Mountbatten. What is the history about? These personalities and their activities, policies and achievements. Underline that sentence also. So, what they written about? Achievements of each Governor General is written by the British historians. So, underline that. Coming to next topic, how do we periodize? Periodization means Indian history is divided into 3 periods. So, earlier James Mill James Mill periodized India into 3 periods, that is Hindu, Muslim and British. So, what do you mean by periodization? The British divided Indian history into 3 periods. This is done by James Mill, a Scottish economist and a political philosopher. So, he periodized India into Hindu, Muslim and British. Who classified like this? James Mill, a Scottish economist. He classified India into 3 periods, Hindu, Muslim and British, and he said that during Hindu and Muslim period we were like more superstitious and less civilized people. Okay, when Britishers came into India, then only the country became what? More civilized. So, children, take page number 3. How do we periodize? Underline, in 1817, James Mill, a Scottish economist and a political philosopher, published a massive 3-volume work, A History of British India. In the book History of British India, he wrote Indian history into 3 periods. One is Hindu, then Muslim and British. This periodization came to be widely accepted. Close the bracket there. Now, second paragraph leave, third paragraph, Mill thought that all Asian societies were at lower level of civilization than Europe. So, what is Mill saying? Compared to the European countries, Indian civilization or Asian societies are less civilized because we have the system of caste, religion, we were superstitious. So, what he says that Hindu and Muslim rulers make these countries what type? Superstitious, less civilized countries. So, underline, Mill thought that all Asian societies were at a lower level of civilization than Europe. According to his telling of history, before the British came to India, underline, before the British came to India, Hindu and Muslim despots ruled the country. There were religious intolerance, caste taboos and superstitious practices dominated social life. So, these were things dominating caste, religion and superstition. We people were very much following what all things caste, religion and superstition. So, he considered that a less civilized nation compared to European countries. Close the bracket there. And he suggested that the British should conquer all the territories in India to ensure enlightenment and happiness of the Indian people. So, what he said, if you want happiness, then British should come and rule the country because they are more civilized than our people. For India was not capable of progress without British help. That was James Mill's view or suggestion about India. He said that India is a less civilized nation where there is lot of caste and religious system follows, and they should be considered as less civilized than the Europeans. So, what he suggested, all the regions of India should be conquered by the British and for what? For happiness and enlightenment of Indians, otherwise Indian can't progress. Close the bracket there. Moving from British classification, so this is about British classification, Hindu, Muslim and British. Now moving to Indian historians have classified India as ancient, medieval and modern. Ancient, medieval, modern. This is the classification by our historians. Page number 4, third paragraph. Moving away from British classification, start the bracket from historians have divided Indian history into ancient, medieval and modern. Historians India usually have been divided into what ways? Ancient, medieval and modern. Now here there also one problem exists, like historians have usually divided India into ancient, medieval and modern. Here also there is a problem. What is that? It is a periodization that is borrowed from the West where the modern period was associated with the growth of all the forces of modernity, science, reason, democracy, liberty and equality. Medieval was a term used to describe a society where these features of modern society did not exist. So, we do not have this modern society's features existing in India. So, how can we say that this is a modern period? This is about the classification of historians. Earlier, during British time, we classified India into, British historians classified Indian history into 3 periods: Hindu, Muslim and British. This was done by James Mill. Otherwise, historians must have classified like ancient, medieval and modern. Till we are ending the session over here, please do underline the important points, frame as many questions as you can and find out the answers, mark in the textbook. Thank you children, have a nice day.